5 stories in under 5 minutes. The first story, the Las Vegas Survivors Death Log. You may remember on October the 1st, Stephen Paddock was to be said to be the lone gunman who opened fire from the Mandalay Bay and killed and injured over 500 persons. Well, now, according to CNN, who I don't like to quote, is saying that 450 people are pressing charges already, and they're just all in the dark, and they don't have any answers as to what is going on. No answers whatsoever. But there are some answers coming up, because we seem to continue to have a epidemic of people who survived the shooting only to later die in freak accidents. Another man who was killed by hit and run accident. Link in the description box. I did a video about this before. Very peculiar. Story number 2, the Bundy Ranch. You may recall also earlier, there was a big story about Mr. Bundy, his ranch, and him fighting for the rights to let his, cattle graze on it. Ultimately, it led to a homicide. And right now there's a mistrial that's going on about the Bundy Ranch, and footage isn't even being released because I believe it does implicate the Cold Stone murder of a Mr. Robert Lavoie. And you can see him here talking about just the day before.
No, all we know is what you're also seeing. That's why you're seeing the saber rattling from the Fed. They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here, and we do not intend giving it back to them.
And story number 3. Story number 3. This past week marked the 5-year anniversary of the Sandy Hook event, and one of the moms slams Trump for partying with the NRA head on the massacre of the anniversary. This would be Nicole Hockley, who says she lost her 6-year-old son Dylan in the massacre. She has been a fighter against gun violence ever since. Enough said about that. Moving on to story number 4. Story number 4. So you may recall the Rockville High School students that were charged with raping the 14-year-old girl in a restroom stall back in March of this year. When it first came out, it was pretty brutally described as a girl who was forced into the boys' bathroom stall, 14 years old, where 2 boys proceeded to rape her in the stall. Well, this is another news story that we're following up with. Links in the description box. Turns out that as of last month, I think it was last month, or it might have been October 21st, yes. Well, the Rockville rape case erupted as national news, but it quietly ended Friday. As the charges have been dropped, they were reduced down to pornography charges. All the rape charges were thrown out. Parents, the stepmother of the accused is thankful. Now they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And of the victim, well, they just said it would be too traumatizing for her to press charges. Though they're both illegal immigrants, it looks like they may be staying. So no criminal charges, and the boys are probably going to stay. Links in the description box. Can't make this stuff up. And story number 5 from space.com. We may not be alone, says a former Pentagon UFO investigator. And if he's been paying attention and reading the news, he knows we already are not. Everybody have a great day. Bye.